Hi, I'm Anne Marie O'Brien. I'm the Veteran Program Manager here at Career Source Central Florida. Today, I get the pleasure of being here with Pam Neighbors. Pam, welcome, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you. It's very nice to be here. Finally, again, at the sort of end of our year and the beginning of our year, right?
Yes, that's what it's all about today, actually, too. So, and that's what we're going to try to start here. I recall back, I guess it was July 16th of 2012.
What a memory.
Right?
Yes.
And I remember that's when you came here, right? That's
when
you came aboard.
It was just a week ago, actually, from when we're sitting here.
Exactly. And by the way, you know, congratulations on that. Another milestone for you, Pam.
Thank you.
17. What?
Thank you. Thank you.
7 years, right?
7 years.
Wow.
7 years. But no 7-year itch.
Yeah, I got you.
No, I'm really having a good time and continuing to, you know, think that our organization has such potential and opportunity to make impact that I could see easily another 7 or 8 or 10 years.
And I'm not trying to one up you, but I have 17. So
yes. So
you
you've even seen more change in our organization than I have.
I have, but I would say some of the greatest change has been in the last 7 years.
Well, great. I am just recently on Facebook. I had this remember when kind of thing pop up, and it had me presenting. I think I was at a Second Harvest presentation for the local HR chapter, and I had our red and black colors for Workforce Central Florida. So now not only have our colors and our name changed, but really our vision for creating impact for individuals, not just a job and on your way, but really impact and getting to prosperity for the people that we serve. So
yeah, and I like that vision because, you know, we recently just took the communication style survey that we did, the whole company, and I know you were.
Oh yes.
This is your area, and a
gold.
lot of us, right?
Yes.
And the one thing I point out here on this gold part was the visionary, and that's what I was thinking about. 7 years ago, you came here and came aboard, and knowing now that you're a visionary, I'm really curious. When you look back and think about that, what was this the vision where we're at right now, or there's something in there that you thought, you know, this is what I want to do, and are we there today? Or can you tell me a few things maybe that you thought about that came to fruition maybe in the last 7 years?
Yes. Well, so yes and yes. Last week we celebrated here in Central Florida the 50-year anniversary of the moon landing, and the first time men ever walked on the moon, right? And it was really cool for me because I'm a space geek. You know, I love science fiction. I love NASA. I love astronomy and the stars. And so, you know, I did some reading last week and a lot of television watching, a lot of reading newspapers. And one of the things that struck me was in 1961, President Kennedy set the challenge before the country that we were going to put a man on the moon by the end of the decade. So the big vision was we're going to put a man on the moon, but how to get there really had not even been created or thought about. And I think about Career Source Central Florida like that. So coming here in 2012, the vision was, let's make this organization the organization it needs to be to serve this community. Let's reestablish our reputation. Let's create performance and impact for our organization and the people and the businesses that we serve. I don't know that other than getting through the first year and getting past the challenges and reestablishing our presence in the community, I had the nuts and bolts and tools like engineers did around the moon launch. But I had this vision that we had this amazing resource and that it had a community that it could really serve. And so if I think back over 7 years, that's a really proud moment for me, Anne Marie, that, you know, we really have not only reestablished the organization, but we've created a vision that moves into the 21st century. We've created real impact that we can measure. And as I look into the 21st century for us in the next 7 years, I know that we have this opportunity to create greater prosperity for people through a career experience, a career journey. And I know that we have the opportunity to create talent for businesses through their journey. I don't know all of the ways that we might do it because I do think technology is changing so rapidly, and particularly for our system, there's some real opportunity to embrace technology around what we do. So I have this vision for us on what it all looks like. I'm not sure, but maybe we'll come back here in 7 or 8 years and you can ask me.
All right, that sounds great. That sounds really good. So, you know, thinking about that, and thank you for sharing that part where we're going and what have you. And let's talk a little bit about last year. There's, we have the board. We have some great goals this year. I think we really had some good, strong goals that we can hold on to and do something with. And really move that forward and start making some of the impact that you just spoke about. And knowing that, what are some of the things, maybe those goals or some things we did last year that you're really most proud of?
We've created real impact that we can measure. We can say we served 2,600 people last year in training opportunities. We put 1,600 into careers at over $15 an hour, or close to 15. Our average was like 14.64, somewhere in there. Overall, our system served 42,000 individuals. That's pretty tremendous when you think about it. They either came in personally to a career center, or they touched us through one of our virtual websites or online systems. Of those 46,000, we know that 23,000 of them actually received one-on-one staff services from a Career Source Central Florida employee. And 1 out of every 3 went to work in this 12-month period in a new opportunity. So that's pretty cool. And what's also very cool is that we can tell each other that story. We are measuring, we are tracking, we are ensuring that we understand that we are measuring what matters in our organization. For the business sector in 2018-19, we actually served over 3,600 businesses. And of those, at least 2/3 were returning businesses. And they also received a one-on-one service from one of our business consultants. They either had training for their staff or a new staff member, or they actually had a targeted recruitment opportunity. So we're very proud of that. We want to continue to increase the number of businesses in our growth sectors and the loyalty businesses that we serve. So we really had some amazing metrics this past year, and I'm sure staff were going, breather time, but here we are in July again and have new goals for the new year. But great job to all of our business and our career center consultants. So it was just a tremendous amount of work that was done this last year.
Yeah, and it has been tremendous, but it's tremendously rewarding as well.
Yes, absolutely.
And we start seeing some of the numbers, which we're going to get to a little bit about that in just a minute.
Okay.
And something else I'd like to talk about that I really think really matters too is the people.
Yes.
Our Career Source Central Florida, our team here. We have such a vast amount of talent and amazing people. We do, don't we?
We do. So, of our staff, actually, this last year, the last thing we did in this quarter was actually run an employee engagement survey. Some of you might remember it. We've actually done it now 3 times. And I was very pleased. We just got the results last week that we are still, out of a 5-point scale, we are still solidly at a 4 in our employee engagement. So very good. I'm thinking that's a very good, right? That's a very good, but no change from the previous year. And what also is interesting me when you drill down into all the various things that are asked, like how do you like the benefits, the compensation, the work hours, the work itself, that many people were very satisfied with those elements of their job. And so for me and for the board, those are really rewarding things to read, but also good things for us to continue to work on. So the employee satisfaction survey also, Anne Marie, we had 85% of our staff participate, which means, by the way, everybody gets a ice cream social across the organizations. Yay, love ice cream. But that is the highest participation we have had on the employee engagement survey. And as I was reviewing the survey, I noted that there are really 3 primary areas that we need to continue to work on, because you know me, I want to get to perfect. I want to get much closer to that score of 5. So we need to continue to work on career development and professional development opportunities inside our organization. People are interested in how do I move ahead, or how do I increase the breadth of my knowledge and understanding and really increase my value to the company and my own skill ability, which I think is absolutely on point for our industry, right? Secondly, how do we increase communication across the organization? Management did a lot of work this year. We have news from the source. We have the managers meet on Fridays, and we have a lot of information that we're issuing from the 390 North, formerly BOA office. But we need to also improve information coming up from the field. Today, I just learned that we have this incredible activity happening in Summer Youth. And it's teaching summer youth not only how to work, but doing research around financial literacy. It was very cool, and I didn't know about that. So that's one of the things I'd like to know more about the people that we work with, as well as what they're doing actually with our customers. That's just a great way to increase communication. So that's a very important element. And then also, we're going to be really looking at supervisor training, continuing to look at the things that we've picked up in other years, emerging leadership, continue the professional development around individuals who are in management and supervisory positions. Because I think there's some opportunity to improve those relationships across the organization. So those are all areas that are already planned into our professional development and communication strategies for this year. So it was really great to hear that, and get ready to pick your favorite ice cream very soon here in the next month.
You know, I noticed too, just recently that we're working through our goals right now, and I know there's a really great package. I don't know if you, I'm sure you saw it, that they're putting together through I guess through Diana and the team there, and Rosa, and putting that together. We had some great training on our goals and how to do our goals.
Yes, doing those SMART goals, right? Yes. Do you know what SMART stands for?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Me. I'm sorry. No.
Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound, right? Those are SMART goals. So we need to make sure that we create goals around that. But you're probably thinking about, I have a personal goal.
I was going to get there.
Yes,
I was coming there.
That I want to learn everyone's name, which is close to 250 people in our organization this year. And so I have actually been dropping in to the career centers. I've so far been to West and to Lake this week, this program year, and we'll be dropping in. And one of the ways I learn what people's names are is by saying their names and shaking their hand at the same time. So that's my personal goal, is to learn those names, and it's very important to me, so I'm going to be doing that.
And that's learn the first names of all, what, 200, about
250 people.
250 people.
Yeah. So Anne Marie, I'm learning 250 some names, but I'm hoping that I can challenge everyone in the field to also find someone that they don't know very well, either in their center or in another center, and just sit down and have coffee or water or lunch with them and get to know each other, because I think that part of building relationship is not just from my level down, but it's also building a relationship across the organization. So that will be my challenge when I come out and talk to people in the field. I'm going to ask them if they had a chance to know somebody that they don't know well.
There you go. You've heard it.
Yes.
Meet someone that you haven't quite met yet. Get to know them and start the relationship there. So Pam, as we look forward, just recently, well, I think it was last week, we had the grand opening for our Lake office. I couldn't be there, so let me know all about it. I couldn't be there.
So yes, Lake Sumter State College is our first location that is co-located inside the college campus itself. And last Wednesday we had our grand opening. It was a great success. We had, I think, 80 people there. And just so excited to have this partnership with Lake Sumter State College. But stay tuned. We have part 2 of our college connections will be Valencia College in January. They're actually building a 3rd floor for us on the Accelerated Training Center campus. They're on Osceola. Really not too far from where we are, right across the street, but we'll be moving there in January. And then, of course, the long-awaited West Center move. We're going to be moving inside of the West Oaks Mall, hopefully by the end of November, early December. And we're very excited. And all of these locations really have a new vision for the layout. There is a lot of agility and flow for connecting career sourcers, our folks, with the people that we need to serve, both businesses and individuals looking for opportunities. So just a really great event last week, kicking off this vision for our physical location. So I'm very, very proud of that.
That is something to be proud of.
Thank you.
Excited about that too. Pam, you know, we had talked about your first 7 years in the vision, and I'd like now you to kind of maybe give us some ideas of the next 7 years and what that'll look like.
Yes. So, you know, really this coming year is a big year for us. The board set us on a course of 3 very ambitious goals. The first one is to diversify our revenue. You know, every year we go through what happens with our budget. So much of our budget is wound into federal appropriations for the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act and the TANF funding, Welfare to Work funding. And so our board really wants to create a budget where, regardless of increases or decreases to appropriations, we have a solid foundation that we continue to move services forward. You know, other boards are just adjusting every year, and that adjusts staff and facilities. We want to make sure that the resource we have here is solid and it is able to deliver and perform every year. So this next year we have a very ambitious revenue diversity goal of $800,000. That's a lot of money, not just private, but also grants and other municipal partnerships, particularly around our young adult population in the summertime. So that is a big goal. The second goal is, as we look at the training and engagement that we do with our career seekers, and I mentioned earlier that, you know, our scope is we had 42,000 people interact with us last year. We want to make sure that for 10,000 people, we solidly can say that they got a service and they got to work or they got on a career path. And so that is a big lift. Now, don't let that, you know, scare you out there in the field, because we, as I said, we're connecting in a relationship way with 23,000 last year. But for 10,000, we want to make a solid commitment that we are going to impact their lives and get them into a career that also helps a business become productive, because they need that talent. Yeah. And so then for businesses, we want to ensure that this coming year, we create relationships with 4,000 businesses, and that the majority of those businesses are inside of our growth sectors, and that 2/3 of those businesses are loyalty businesses. They're coming back to us for recruitment or training services. So there's some really solid goals, and as we constructed those SMART goals, I have 5 SMART goals that are all around those goals that I just mentioned, and then the leadership team has goals. They all have no more than 3. And that is true across the organization, that everyone has no more than 2 business goals and 1 professional development goal. So very excited about this year coming up. And you know, this is really our launch year also for our Sterling application. We will be, by June of next year, having our draft Sterling application ready for submission in the fall of 2020, really designating that we have accomplished and established a continuous improvement organization structured on Sterling management practices. And I have no doubt that we'll be ready to do that next year. So I'm very excited, Anne Marie.
That is exciting.
Yeah.
It really is. Well, Pam, I really wanted to thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you.
And it was really enjoyable.
Yes.
And I know that we're looking forward to continuing this work next year.
Yes, enjoyed having you as my interviewer, Anne Marie.
Thank you.
Always enjoy working with you.
Right back at you. It really is, Pam. Thank you so much. Hey, thank you, Career Sourcers, for watching, and we'll see you next time.